I'd like to move to item number 7, which is announcements from the mayor and/or city manager. I've got a couple of announcements this evening, but a special presentation, and I wanted to make sure that the guests who are here don't have to sit here through our entire agenda to hear the presentation. So I know Councilmember Hodge and I were very close to Mel Hanna, who was really a pillar in our community, not just in the Phoenix area, but in Tempe. He did such exceptional work when it comes to education, civil rights. I told a personal story about him at our MLK breakfast this past Monday, where I talked about there was a point in time where I was out of a job and I was looking for opportunities and didn't exactly know who to turn to. So I ended up going to the Greater Phoenix Urban League when Mel was working there. And for a person of his stature in the community, I didn't expect for him to spend as much personal time with me as he did. But the reality is he didn't just simply say, here's a list of jobs that you can take a look at and feel free to email people and see what happens or something. He literally sat with me for not hours, but days. Whenever I would come back down to go through certain job applications or job postings so I could ask his opinion on things. He volunteered to be a reference for me, and he volunteered to make calls on my behalf. This is before I was an elected official. I was not mayor of the city of Tempe. I was not a council member. I was just simply a person in the community looking for gainful employment. And this man, who was such a pillar of our community, spent that kind of time with me, which just said so much about him. But I know he didn't just simply do it for me. He frankly did it for everyone that he interacted with all the time, which is why he was such an important figure in our community. And honestly, his loss, deeply hurts me as someone who knew him so well and really admired him, and especially as someone like me sitting up here being the first African-American mayor of the city of Tempe. I could not have been in this position without people like Mel Hanna, who clearly paved the way for me to sit up here right now. So I know his family is grieving right now, but I just want to say he was a truly incredible human being and a giant in this community, and he is going to be very much missed by myself, and I know all of us sitting up here. I don't know if Councilmember Hodge, you wanted comments too, but I've got a presentation for the family afterwards, but I wanted to make sure I said that before I got to the presentation.
Yeah, I just want to say, first I want to say something to Dr. Anna Battle right there, who has been a mentor for me for my entire life. The Hodge family loves you. You've been a part of our lives forever. I call him Uncle Mel because that's how I've known him since I met him when I was 16 years old, and he was actually working on a project at McClintock High School because it was a situation where there was at Huckleberry Finn, and the kids were saying, the teacher was insisting to teach kids read it exactly how it was, and it had the N-word in there, and they were upset about it. And Uncle Mel came in, and I was the Black Student Union president of the state, so I got involved in that too. That's how I got into it. And he was the person who was the interim between the kids, the students, this district, the teachers, everyone. And he played from that point on in my life, he's been a big part of it. He has been in education, which Mayor Woods just said. He's championed 4 of the overrides in Tempe that passed. So, in bonds, he's done so much with education. And when he calls, I listen. He was the first one to tell me, Burdetta, you need to get behind Katie Hobbs now. And I listen, and I thank him for that to this day, because he was the first one to tell me that no matter what, she's going to be sitting at a governor's office. And you know what, Uncle Mel? You are absolutely correct. So I just want to say that. I love you with all my heart. So thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Hodge. If the council would like to join me down to the front for the proclamation, if I could invite the family to come forward as well, that would be wonderful. So I have a proclamation here that I will read out loud. but then I will present to Mel's family. So it reads, whereas Mel Hanna was a dedicated public servant and community leader who strived to make Tempe a more diverse, inclusive, and welcoming place, all while weathering against the barbs of segregation and persevered through these difficulties through his time as a student athlete at Eastern Arizona Junior College and Northern Arizona University. And whereas Mel Hanna was the first African American elected to the Flagstaff City Council, was a member of the Coconino County Board of Supervisors, and a leader in the Arizona NAACP and the Greater Phoenix Urban League. And whereas in Tempe, Mel's actions to improve the lives of our city's youngest residents included stepping up and forming diverse committees that champion maintenance and operation overrides, as well as bond elections for the Tempe Union High School District. These efforts enabled the schools to overcome the terrible impacts of the Great Recession and ensure students excelled academically. And whereas Mel's work as the Tempe Union High School District Diversity Council Chairman positively impacted the lives of many, where he mentored minority staff, students, and teachers for years. And whereas Mel Hanna truly dedicated himself to improving the lives of the people around him through civic engagement of the community around him. Whereas the city of Tempe recognizes the amazing work of Mel Hanna and his commitment to the Tempe community, as well as Arizona as a whole, where his legacy will live on forever in the hearts of those he impacted. Now, therefore, I, Corey Woods, Mayor of the city of Tempe, Arizona, do hereby declare January 13th, 2023, as Mel Hanna Day, Lifetime Service Achievement Award in Tempe, Arizona.
We go. Perfect. Just like that. We go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. More. 1, 2, 3. And then my turn. Sorry. Thank you very much. All right. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.